don't know that it passes the Bechdel test, but I do think it counts as a win for feminism.
Welcome to Baggage Claim, an unofficial Jet Lag the Game companion podcast. In our final off-season episode before Season 15, we're going to be unpacking the game design and making some predictions for Tag All-Stars. I'm Jaya.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Kira.
Casey, who are you rooting for this season? And give that team a nickname that isn't just a portmanteau of their names, something about their energy.
I'm sure, extremely surprisingly, for everyone listening, I am rooting for Sam and Toby, which I almost named the dynamic duo because they are the winningest team of guest and jetlagger. For my team nickname, I decided to go for Team Triple Threat because they're going for the three-peat, having won 2 seasons prior.
I like that.
Kira, how about you? Who are you rooting for, and what's your team nickname?
Okay, I'm going to start by saying I have a moral and legal obligation to root for Ben, even though it goes against every fiber of my being to not root for a woman. The truth is that I'm rooting for Toby and Michelle to unionize and somehow win as a pair. But for the sake of the pod, I will be team Ben and Brian. However, since this is the hashtag feminism season of Jetlag, I had the idea of calling them Team Ken. Because in this season, there are 2 Barbies and they're just Ken.
I love
so
that.
Good.
That's so funny.
Team Ken is a perfect name for Ben and Brian.
I feel like it kind of works.
That rules.
They're just Ken.
This season, I am absolutely rooting for Adam and Michelle. I think when Michelle was on, I was like, yeah, of course I'm going to be rooting for Ben and Adam this season. That's who I have. And then she was on this, and I was like, I'm obsessed with her. She's perfect. So I love that they are paired together. This question was inspired by accomplished Fig745 on Reddit, calling Adam and Michelle Team Energizer Bunny because they will never rest or calm down. And I kind of think that's a perfect answer for them. However, I was in an astronomy talk the other day, and I was thinking about, okay, these guys are a high-energy object in space, reaching some sort of, critical point and exploding, hopefully in a good way, but it could also go very badly, so I also want to call them Team Supernova.
I love that. That's perfect.
Because they could explode in a good way if you're supernova people, but also in a bad way if you're a very small galaxy and now you don't have any more gas.
No more gas in the tank for them.
Alright, let's jump into a very quick recap. I won't go through all the rules because we talked about a lot of the regular tag rules last week, but we'll go over a bit of how this game is changing to accommodate 3 teams. They're playing on the original map. This game is starting in Charlottesville, and it's 2v2v2. So the first set of runners is going to be going to wherever their location is, and the 2 groups of chasers can decide whether or not they want to work together to chase down those runners. Whichever team of chasers tags the runners becomes the next runners, but both teams of chasers get frozen in place for that 45-minute period. A lot of the challenges are new because now they can accommodate 2 people, but also they've been made a little bit easier because being chased down by 2 teams makes this game a little harder for the runners. The final big change is that the power-ups can only be used once, but they're free. Now the power-ups, like turning off your tracker or doubling the reward, they no longer cost coins, but you can only use them once in your run. How do you guys feel about these rules changes? I honestly think I really like them. I am glad they made the challenges a little bit easier because I would be afraid that runners were going to be caught immediately if they had 2 teams going against them. And I can't wait to see which teams of chasers actually work together.
I agree, because I think that will be, honestly, a lot of our Strat Chat discussions for this season of whether or not it is advantageous to work together, knowing that one of you is going to get that tag. I also think it's really interesting that the teams will be frozen in place when the tag happens, meaning that one of the teams of chasers might not be anywhere close to where the tag happened, but might actually be more strategically placed for the beginning of the next run. I think this is going to be really interesting, and I think the fact that we're incorporating 3 teams, but it's still about who gets the tag first will really put a lot of that urgency back into tag that maybe fell off a little bit through the seasons as the players got more comfortable.
Yeah, I like that the two teams of chasers are kind of racing with each other, too.
I completely agree. And I also, to Casey's point about the fact that the two teams of chasers might not be in the same spot when the tag happens, I really like the new power-up where you can freeze one of the teams. And in the layover, they were talking about how one of the power-ups is that the runner can choose to freeze just one of the teams of chasers. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about how that's more useful in the beginning of the game because that's when the runners are more likely to know where the chasers are. And then as you get into later stages of the game, more things are just up in the air, and so there's more guessing involved. And I thought that was really smart just in terms of balancing the game over the course of the game. So making sure that the beginning is balanced, and the middle is balanced, and the end is balanced. I like the way sort of the trajectory of both team strategies are changing over the course of each run.
I also really like that power-up has a 5-minute kind of charge period.
Yes!
Because it does mean that if you think you and your partner can outrun the people trying to chase you, you could say you're going to be frozen in place in 5 minutes and just run.
Right.
And
can you keep up the pace for 5 minutes?
Yeah. I gotta say, I think for my team, Adam and Michelle are the most likely duo to be able to outrun the chasers.
What an excellent point.
I really hope there's at least one sequence of them trying to outrun probably Ben and Brian, because I don't think they would bother trying to outrun Sam. With that, Casey, I'll pass it to you for our predictions.
Thanks, Jaya. So for our predictions for this season, we are once again going to make a bingo board that we're going to fill out as the season progresses.
Yay!
And to build out our bingo board, I'm going to start us by kind of going in a round and each of us giving one of our predictions for the season until we run out. And then I have some overall questions that we'll end with. So Kira, do you want to start?
My first prediction is that Michelle and Toby will bond.
God, I hope so.
Me too.
My first prediction is, of course, again, Adam sings a song.
A classic.
Yeah. My first prediction is that jet lag will finally pass the Bechdel test, which would mean that Toby and Michelle have a conversation. Yippee!
It's gonna happen.
Okay, here's a question. Does it count if one of them is doing Amy's puzzle box?
They're not talking to each other, but maybe.
It's not a conversation, but they are getting a challenge from Amy.
It would. I don't know that it passes the Bechdel test, but I do think it counts as a win for feminism.
I'll take it.
My next one is I think that Sam and Toby will succeed on a dexterity challenge. I know that's kind of contentious. I feel like this is their season.
Manifest.
My second one was Ben wishes or threatens harm on someone, but that happened in the trailer, so I'm going to skip that, and my second one is going to be something that didn't actually come true last season when I really thought it would, is just the quote, comment below if.
They're going to bring it back.
I hope so.
My next prediction is that Toby convinces Sam to veto a challenge he wanted to see through.
Ooh.
Bet that will happen. That's a good one.
I think that transportation other than a train will be used. I think we've only really seen that one time. I think
by the runners, you mean?
Yes, by the runners.
Okay.
Adam in Tag 3 took a bus, but I think that this is the season where we're going to see actually more forms of transportation.
My next one is wildly incorrect assumption about what the chasers are doing.
Yes.
Somebody's going to say, they've got to be in this place, and it's going to cut to the chasers extremely not doing that or being there.
Yes. My next prediction is, quote, no, from Adam and or Michelle.
Love it.
Yeah. Yup.
My next one is Sam speaks French.
Ooh. That's good, both because their win area is a lot in France, and also Sam does speak French.
Yeah, and I feel like he loves to pull that out.
My next prediction is, and I hope this doesn't happen, but also for the sake of bingo, I hope it does, Adam and Michelle make each other worse. Like, they stress each other out more.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's either going to be, like, Adam being like, oh yeah, this is fine, thinking about a challenge that they're going to do, and then Michelle, like, actually, this is not fine, and then Adam gets more stressed about it, maybe the other way around.
Brutal!
My next prediction is that Brian tries, perhaps unsuccessfully, to start a snack zone.
That's funny.
I hope that happens.
Like, I feel like I could really see him
Yeah.
into it and Ben shutting it down.
I could see Brian trying to start a snack zone in a food-related challenge, and
Yes.
then Ben being like, that's against the rules of the snack zone.
That's really funny.
That's funny, I like it.
My next one is rat mode mentioned.
Ooh,
Yes.
good. My next, related to Casey's last one, is reference to an old segment, either Choo 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 or the Zodiac Zone or something like that.
Oh, nice. I like that.
My next prediction is that Sam and Toby decide to use a power-up at a completely useless time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
okay.
see it.
Yeah, I see that happening.
My next one is someone gets drunk, which I think historically hasn't been allowed in tag or in solo seasons, but I'm wondering, because now we're back to teams of 2, that might be on the table.
Oh, that's fun. I hope so. My next one, and I had to be a bit specific with this, is a train outside of Germany is delayed.
Yeah.
We hate Deutsche Bahn.
I think it's allowed to be a Deutsche Bahn train as long as it's not in Germany.
Yeah.
That's fair. Like Kira, my next prediction was a return of the Get Drunk challenge.
Oh, we're so in
Nice.
sync.
You guys are so in sync with these.
That's so funny. My next one is that Ben and Brian will sabotage Adam and Michelle when they're all chasers.
Ooh, chaser sabotage
Like
is fun.
the way I'm picturing this happening, and I don't even know if it's physically possible within the rules of the game,
Okay.
is that I'm guessing that they're all going to be like traveling together as a group of 4. But then Ben and Brian will be, whisper, and they're gonna try to sabotage them by getting on a different train or somehow trying to usurp the plan. That's my prediction.
I like that one. I think, kind of similarly, that at some point we're gonna have multiple teams on the same train.
Ooh.
Like the runner
Either-
and the chasers, or multiple teams of chasers.
I think it might be too easy of a square to get if it's any 2 teams, so it might just be runner and a team of chasers.
Got it. That's
I
interesting.
like that a lot. My final prediction is that Amy creates an unsolvable challenge.
Oh, I bet.
We love it.
It will be solvable to someone who's better at puzzles than any of the people on the show.
I bet Toby could do it. Honestly, I bet
That's
Toby
true.
and Michelle could do it. They're just gonna lock in and get it.
I don't know if Michelle could do Amy's puzzle box.
I think this is going to be the hashtag feminism season. My next one is I think there are going to be multiple snack zones in a single episode.
Ooh. Oh, I bet. My final prediction, and I'm not sure if this is too specific or not, is new tag country visited. So
I
a
was going to
country,
put that.
Regardless of if they've been there in, say, Schengen Showdown, they're gonna visit a country that's new to tag.
I was almost going to put that.
Like, I think UK, Austria, Liechtenstein, one of the microstates.
I was
Something
going
along
to
those lines.
I was going to put that.
Kira, we're on the same wavelength.
Okay, my next one is that I think Adam and Michelle will successfully pull off physically hiding from the chasers when they're all literally in the same place. So kind of like how Ben historically has been able to physically be in the same train station. I think Adam and Michelle will be able to do that.
God, I hope so.
And then my last one is I think someone will say, quote, "I've trained for this."
Ooh, that's really good.
That's a good quote, and I think you're right.
Honestly, all of these are really good and accurate predictions, and I'm going to move us into more of the general questions. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to say some statements, and then we're all going to go around and say which team or which person we think will fulfill that prediction. Who's going to say something cancelable?
Sam.
think-
No.
I think Brian.
I was
Oh,
going to say Brian.
Damn. Okay, Brian is... Yeah. Yeah, it's Brian.
Yeah. Okay, which team will have the first snack zone?
I don't think it's going to be Sam and Toby, even though they're the first runners, and so they have the most, like, one-on-one time. I don't think it's going to be them. I bet it's going to be Ben and Brian.
I also want to say Ben and Brian.
I think I'm going to say Adam and Michelle, because I can see, honestly, Michelle being really excited to be a part of a snack zone.
Oh, that's a great point.
Michelle does love a segment.
Which team will get Deutsche Bahn or miss a train or their train gets canceled or otherwise delayed?
I think Adam and Michelle.
I hate to say it, but I think I'm going to say Toby and Sam.
I feel like Ben and Brian, I could see them missing their train.
I could see Ben and Brian missing a train, but I could see Adam and Michelle planning on something that relies on the shortest connection.
Okay, reference to which previous season?
I feel like they're going to reference Tag 2, because that's the one where Adam got really close. The other one that I was going to say is I feel like they could reference circumnavigation, because I think they're going to talk about the pastry mile.
Interesting.
But I don't want to...
That's so specific.
Because I think that one is way more outlandish, but I feel like there's a chance.
That is certainly a wild prediction.
Because that also has Get Drunk.
I was going to say Arctic Escape is going to come up either with Adam and Michelle talking about it, or the other team saying Michelle is a really scary player because of how she played Arctic Escape.
Yeah, I was between Arctic Escape and Hide and Seek. I think one of the Hide and Seeks could come up if one of the teams is trying to hide from someone else. So I'll say Hide and Seek so that we have different tiles.
Yeah. Who will fail a dexterity challenge?
Sam and Toby.
Yeah, I think that they will both fail and succeed on a dexterity challenge.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Brian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who will go on a defensive rant on the layover?
You know, I liked that each of us had our own blorbo for this last season, and so I'm gonna say Adam again.
I feel like I could pretty much see every single person, maybe except Toby, go on a defensive rant.
I agree.
I don't know how likely it is that Brian would go on a defensive rant on the layover.
Really?
I really feel
I
like
think he would get razzed into it, but I don't think it would be his instinct.
I feel like I could see Brian defending like a team decision that Ben is like, no, that was a bad decision. You know, that he's like ready to give
like,
it.
I think that he's the most likely to get defensive. I think I'm going to say Brian.
Who will complain about the weather?
I think Adam.
I think Sam. Sam doesn't like the heat, and they film this in summer.
That's a good point.
I'll say Ben.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one because of the change of how the runs happen. Which team will get the most runs?
I want to say Sam and Toby. I think they're going to be really good chasers.
I think Sam and Toby do have an edge in that they go first.
Yeah, that's also a good point.
That is true. If we didn't already know who went first, I would say Adam and Michelle, but I think I'm going to agree with you on Sam and Toby. Okay, are we all saying
Which
that?
would be huge for Team Sam.
It would be... I mean, it's crazy that he's going first.
Literally. All right. This one is a bit complicated, so I do want to hear your thoughts, but which teams of chasers will either decide to work together or decide not to work together?
Ooh.
I think that Sam and Toby will want to chase solo. Like, I think that they will not work with other teams.
See, I was going to say, I think that Toby and Michelle might want to team up. And so maybe I could see Sam, Toby, Michelle, and Adam teaming up to catch Ben and Brian.
I can see all four of them teaming up to catch Ben and Brian. I can also see Ben and Brian trying to go rogue.
Alternatively, I could see Ben, Brian, Toby, and Sam all teaming up against Adam because they would be very afraid of Adam and Michelle's intensity and prowess.
I think Adam and Michelle are the scariest team.
Yeah. So I think either Sam and Toby won't work with anyone, or my guess is that Sam and Toby and Ben and Brian will work together.
But Ben...
I'm
gonna say Ben goes rogue.
My last question for you. Which team will get recognized by a fan on camera?
I think Adam and Michelle.
I was going to say Adam and Michelle
is
as well.
going to get recognized.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I have a feeling that a lot of those predictions will come true. But be sure to follow along and make your own bingo boards if you'd like. Otherwise, I will pass it back off to Jaya.
Thanks, Casey. In our predictions episodes, we don't really have roses and thorns to go off of, so today it's time for another Oops, All Buds. Casey, why don't you go first?
I am just so excited about everything about this season. I'm excited about the guests. I'm excited about the return to tag. I'm excited about the changes to the format and game mechanic of tag. I think it's just going to be so much fun.
Kira, how about you?
Similarly, I'm just kind of excited about everything. Specifically, I guess I'm excited for the guests to bring their seasoned jet lag strategies to a game that none of them have played before. I think it's going to make the game super dynamic, and I think we're going to see things that we have not historically seen in tag.
Absolutely. Similarly, I am really excited to see the dynamics of the chaser teams. I think all of the different pairings are going to be so unique in how they interact with each other and how they want to work together and how they don't, and it's going to be so fun to watch. And with that, thank you for waiting at Baggage Claim. Let us know your thoughts on socials at baggageclaimpod or over email, which is in the episode description. If you're enjoying the show, please leave a comment or give us a follow. We'll see you next time at the Baggage Claim in space. Your liquids may or may not have exploded. Goodbye!
Goodbye! They're also a triple threat in terms of digging holes, vetoing challenges, and hand-eye coordination.
Sam also sings a mead in the Heights.
In that they're threatened by hand-eye coordination.
Yeah. Holes don't fear them, but they fear holes.
Literally.